I would consider myself a pretty big Brewmaster main. I've been playing the spec pretty much religiously for the last 3 years or so, and while I personally have enjoyed the class through thick and thin, I know other players don't necessarily share the same sentiment. Ever since Dragonflight, a common complaint that I hear is that the class is just too complicated or has way too many active keybinds, which is a fair criticism. I'm always sad to hear that my favorite tank inherently turns players away from the class because it is, to me at least, an extremely enjoyable tank. Well, good news, this class now has an easy mode build, and I want to talk about how it works in this video, so let's dive in. Brewmaster has gotten a slight overhaul in terms of talents for the War Within. I'm not going to go over them again since I've already done it in previous videos, but if you are interested in those, I recommend going and watching that video after this one. Essentially, the class has been pruned in terms of damaging abilities. White Tiger Statue is gone, Chi Wave is now passive, and with Rushing Jade Wind recently nerfed along with the removal of Resonant Fists, players can now opt in for a much more relaxed rotation. This easy mode playstyle will require the player to spec into Master of Harmony, which as of this state of beta is the only viable option. The reason why this is preferred is because it's further simplified the rotation. Instead of having to make decisions between single target versus AoE buttons like Tiger Palm versus Spinning Crane Kick, the new Overwhelming Force puts a lot of emphasis into your single target abilities, allowing them to cleave everything in front of you. The tree also causes Celestial Brew to be a small damage cooldown when pressed, so players will want to hit this as often as possible, and incentivizes reduction nodes over amplified nodes in your talent tree. Other talent changes would include the return of Special Delivery, a seemingly fan favorite, which causes chugging any of your brews to send a keg way up into the air, landing a few seconds later doing damage. Because of low stagger levels as well early on in the expansion, Dragonfire Brew won't be viable until the very highest end of keys. And due to the Overwhelming Force talent, Charred Passions works directly against it, meaning that it's not really a viable option for Mythic Plus, that is. Most of the other talents that are going to be picked will include things like Light Brewing, Anvil and Stave, and Facepalm. The last notable talent I do want to mention is the choice node between Black Ox Brew versus Bob and Weave. Passive players can definitely opt in for the Bob and Weave, but Black Ox Brew is a solid cooldown and synergizes well with Special Delivery. And along with this, the reduction of button bloat can easily allow players to add this to their bar now, especially those who are used to already playing Brewmaster during Dragonflight. Alright, let's talk about combat. The action bar you see right here, and I'm definitely exaggerating with this, is all you need to play. Obviously, there are other buttons like defensive cooldowns and utility, but I think this is the best way to simplify the rotation. And you might be thinking, that's it? Well, no. 2 of these keybinds are actually castsequence macros that will simplify your rotation, and I'm going to talk about them shortly. Now, out of these 6 keybinds, 2 of them are cooldowns. Your rotation is going to look something like this. Keg Smash, Breath, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, and then Rising Sun Kick when it's available, and that's it. These castsequence macros are really simple, and all they're doing is turning your Blackout Kick into Tiger Palm for 3 seconds, or after one use, and then the same thing with Keg Smash into Breath of Fire, but instead it's an 8-second, giving you ample time to actually cast the ability. Now, Chi Burst and Keg Smash should be used on cooldown and arguably after Weapons of Order when it's available, but for the most part you can just hit these 5 buttons, whichever is available. And you'll be doing adequate damage and keeping yourself alive at that. Enjoy this footage of me just hitting a couple of buttons during a key. This is a 7 Mists of Cheer and a Scythe. Now, oddly enough, the level 2 Ascended affix didn't come into play here, but this was recorded actually today. I want to talk about why this works in the first season of the War Within. First, the tier set is what's really allowing the Brewmaster to arguably only have a 3-button rotation, obviously including the castsequence macros. Our tier set gives Blackout Kick about a 33% chance to refund a Keg Smash charge and make it free to cast, which means we're getting more casts of Keg Smash without becoming energy starved. This then leads into further reduction of our brews, which allows us to really push more damage into Special Delivery and further cooldown reduction. Second, Master of Harmony causes Celestial Brew to deal damage, making it a very strong offensive ability, and also incentivizes the Brewmaster to cast it regardless of the current Purified Chi stacks you currently have. While slightly awkward to get used to as well, Chi Burst also makes up for a sizable chunk of our damage and fills in nicely when we're waiting for a second on either Blackout Kick or Keg Smash to come off of cooldown. Running any and all brew reduction talents like Light Brewing, Anvil and Stave, Black Ox Brew, and Blackout combo, along with arguably Weapons of Order, pushes a lot of damage into using their defensive abilities, which I'm always a fan of. I can't tell you how many tanks I've seen not use Celestial Brew frequently, or like they fail to keep shield block up or forget demon spikes exist. So any type of playstyle that's extremely simple and forces you to use your defensive abilities should just generally be attractive to most new players. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this down below. I will have the cast sequence macros in the description, as well as in my Discord. I do want to give a shout out to all my lovely Patreon supporters, because without you guys, there'd be a lot less videos like this. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.